I am not exaggerating when I say this. That might have been one of the hardest episodes of AEW Dynamite I've had to see. I genuinely almost fell asleep because of boredom. I had to stop mid-show, pause the show on DVR, by the way, and take, a 30-minute break and come back to it? I felt nothing. Nothing for a good, I guess I gotta put a number on it, 80% of the show. There were some things that I liked, but 80% of it, I'm baffled at just looking at this show going, what in the world are we doing here? But it's a new era. Once again, AEW has pushed the reset button because tonight marked the first night that AEW Dynamite was simulcast on TBS and Max streaming service. Now, I didn't watch it on Max. I watched it on TBS, but apparently, shockingly, not really, Max had ads. Now, if you know how Max works, there is a tier where you can pay for no ads, but you pay a little bit more. Even with that no ads tier, Dynamite had ads. Wow. Are you shocked? You shouldn't be. Although that does suck. Listen, if I'm going to pay for no ads, no ads. That's what I think. That's how I think. Anyways. It didn't matter whether you watched it on TBS or Max. This show, oh my goodness, it was such a chore. It genuinely felt like I was watching. And I say this as if I'm making hyperbole. It's not hyperbole. This felt like watching WWE Raw from 2019. It had all of the elements that a Vince McMahon Raw would have. You had random name changes. Cope. I know, Cope harder, right? Listen, I was already struggling with Adam Copeland, which makes a lot more sense because that's his real name. But I've been saying Edge for decades. And so going from Edge to Adam Copeland, I'm going to slip up. Now you want me to go from Edge to Adam Copeland to Cope. A rated R superstar, Cope. Oh my God. I don't care whose idea it was, whether it was Tony's or Adam's. That sucks. Creatively, that is a dumb name change. Everybody better be saying that. I better not see one content creator or fan that says that's a great idea. This universally needs to be panned. Regardless of the 80% of the show that sucked. There was that 20%. I'm not going to lie to you. That was amazing. And that 20% had one name in it. Ricochet. I'm not exaggerating when I say this either. By far, the best thing in AEW right now is heel Ricochet. I genuinely believe he is doing his best work. Not since NXT Ricochet? This is his best work. I think he's killing it as a heel. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I didn't like that Hurt Business segment, Hurt Syndicate segment. See what I mean? I'm having trouble doing Hurt Business and Hurt Syndicate. And you don't think I'm going to have trouble going from Edge to Adam Copeland to Cope? Cope harder, I know. Let's not act like that Hurt Syndicate segment wasn't a bad segment. It was a bad segment. It made Ricochet look like a geek. Period. That being said, the follow-up has been nothing short of amazing. His matches during the Continental Classic, his segments, how he's carried himself, that segment with Swerve at the pay-per-view that people hated. I loved it. I said, this is how supervillains are born. And then this segment, which is a great follow-up. Having him go out there with the scissors, acting like a genuinely scary serial killer. The blood all over his suit. Him laughing maniacally. Swerve breaks people. It gets Swerve over, but it also highlights how amazing Ricochet is. They better give this man a championship. Who am I kidding? They're not. They're not. Hangman Page, who was also on this show, was red hot. Red hot coming out of All Out. If anybody was going to end Bryan Danielson's career, it should have been Hangman Page. What have they done with him since? Absolute jack shit. Nothing. Now look where he is. Directionless. Like Orange Cassidy. Remember when Chuck Taylor got attacked? And everyone said, this is the start of great things to come for Orange Cassidy. Yeah, how did that work out for you? They get it right with Ricochet. So right with Ricochet. But then everything else just falls apart. And it makes no sense. Why in the world would anybody be clamoring for Jeff Jarrett to be a world champion in 2025? Happy New Year. Not even 2024 or 2023, but 2025. Who wants that? I want to know. Who wants to see Jeff Jarrett be a world champion? You're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, you. I don't think you're crazy. But you are. And everything with the Death Rider storyline is absolute dog shit. Throw that out the goddamn window. I'm just begging them to give anyone else, except Jeff Jarrett, that world title. Throw it on Ricochet. Hell, throw it on Maxwell Jacob Freeman at this point. Screw it. Throw it on Bobby Lashley. Put it back on Swerve. Is it too much to give it to Hangman Page? Probably too late now, right? Women's division is directionless. I don't know what the hell's going on with Mariah May or Mercedes Moné. What tag team division? Yeah. Mid-card titles. Again, maybe I need to watch more of Collision to feel like there's more to this, but I'm sorry. It just feels like coming out of this show, this new era feels like same old boring, directionless, lifeless AEW. I don't think they learned their lesson. It doesn't feel like Tony has learned his lesson. It feels like Tony has dug in his heels. From Jump Street, the opener of this show, and I love the song, I'm So Excited, by the Pointer Sisters, right? The Pointer Sisters. That is such an odd song to open the show with. They had an original theme that everyone thought was a banger. It was a legit banger, and he changed it to I'm So Excited, which is not an opener for a wrestling show. It's just not. I'm not saying it can't be an opener for any show, and I'm not saying it's a bad song. I love the song, but no. From Jump Street all the way to the end with Cope, this show was just painful. Painful. I don't know how you guys got through it. Somehow I did. So I guess we're going to talk about it. I'm going to break it down the best way I can from what I saw. I'm not going to go segment by segment, match by match. I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. But let me plug the sponsors of this video, SeatGeek. Let's get them in before we talk about more right here in Just Alex's World. Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. If you're a wrestling fan looking for access to great seats for any wrestling event near you, then you want to use this app. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek stands as the unrivaled #1 ticketing app in the market today. SeatGeek constantly delivers incredible deals on ticket prices. When you're exploring the app, keep an eye out for the special green dots that mark the best deals. What's even better is that every ticket you purchase is backed by SeatGeek's buyer guarantee, with the option to return your tickets and even swap them before the events. So here's an exclusive for you. If you click the link down below and use the promo code JustAlex, you can get $20 off your first purchase. Yes, $20 off any ticket that you purchase using the promo code JustAlex. This is a sweet deal that you could use literally right now. So don't wait. Click the link, download the app, and join the SeatGeek family today. So the first thing they opened up with was a match between Hangman Page and, of all people, Orange Cassidy. And the only question I had for both of these guys when it was all over with, by the way, Hangman Page won, good for him. But the only question I had was, what the hell are we doing with these guys? What are they doing with either one of them? What is their purpose? What's their direction? Orange Cassidy is cold as ice. He has frozen over with how cold he is. Negative degrees cold. And Hangman Page is not as cold, but he has lost a ton of momentum since All Out. You fumbled all of that momentum since he beat Swerve Strickland. And now he just feels like everybody else. For no reason. And so it was depressing watching those two wrestle. And then when the match was over with, it was like, well, that was a match. Which is not how it should be. I should be coming out going, okay, what are we going to do next? But unfortunately, they don't seem to have a direction for any one of them. So Hangman Page beats up Orange Cassidy, and then Christopher Daniels, who I thought was no longer an EVP, is still an EVP because he's coming out directing people. I don't know. Nothing makes any sense. There's going to be another casino battle royale next week, and there was a triple threat match to determine that. They're breaking up the Acclaimed, which is dumb. It's dumb. I'm sorry. I would rather you turn them both heel, but they're splitting the Acclaimed. They've already started to split up. You can see Max Caster basically becoming more and more annoying. I think he cost Anthony Bowens a match on Collision against Chris Jericho, right? Accidentally. Great. So the wedge is there. They're breaking up the Acclaimed. And the Hurt Business just ran through them. The Hurt Business ran through both of them. Basically, they squashed Max Caster because Anthony Bowens and him are not getting along. This is a terrible decision. This is a horrible decision. Your tag team division cannot afford to lose more tag teams. I don't mind you turning the Acclaimed heel. I don't mind that. But breaking them up is a horrible call. And it's not going to benefit either one of them. Max Caster might get over as a heel, but Anthony Bowens is going to fade into obscurity. And you know that's true. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. This is not a good move, but you know they're going to do it anyways. And that is sad. I think after this they did Jamie Hayter. Speaking of sad, Jamie Hayter is somebody fans have been begging to see come back for, what, over a year? Then she returns at All In on the pre-show and hasn't done jack shit since. Not one rematch for that AEW Women's title. And here she is losing to Julia. What are you doing? Mercedes Moné and Mariah May are out of opponents. Jamie Hayter should be in line to fight one of them. I would love to see Jamie Hayter versus Mariah May, or Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné. Oh, she might lose. It's not about wins and losses. I can't believe I just said that. Yes, wins and losses matter. But you can get over in a loss. You can get over if you lose. There's a way to make it work. See, I caught myself there. I almost said the phrase that would have gotten me in trouble. Wins and losses matter. But it's not just about wins and losses. It's about the story you tell. See what I just did there? I caught myself from saying something stupid. See what AEW is doing to me? Jesus. Jamie Hayter losing to Julia is one thing. That's fine. But it just feels like they have no idea what to do with her. Everything about this is cold. You should be building her up to be a future women's champion. TBS champion. Women's world champion. But you're keeping her away from these titles on purpose because Tony Khan clearly has other people in mind to fight these two women. I'm assuming Tony Storm is fighting Mariah May at whatever shows on Australia. What is that? Grand Slam, right? Was it Grand Slam? I forgot. I think it is Grand Slam in February, right? Grand Slam in Australia. Fine. Okay. You can't give her anybody else to fight? And Mercedes is just there. Again, like, these women, these champions are only as good as their opponents. You have a roster of great women that could be fighting these women. I don't know, y'all. This isn't good. Apparently, Mina Shirakawa and Mercedes is fighting at what? Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty? Wrestle Dynasty, right? What about Dynamite? So, apparently, they're moving on from Adam Cole and MJF. Thank God. Thank heavens. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, for some reason, feel like heels right now. But they're baby faces, which is weird. But okay. Roderick Strong, Switchblade Jay White, and of course, Swerve Strickland had a good match, very good match, to determine who's going to be the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet match, right? I mean, the number one spot. Wait, so they come out first? Wouldn't it have made more sense? Okay, I'm overthinking this. Whatever. It's a match to get a shot at the world title. I'm assuming, right? Whatever. Okay. And the winner of that match next week fights Jon Moxley at that big event on 2 weeks from now. Forgot what it was called. It'll come back to me in a second. But the match itself doesn't matter. As good as it was, what matters is Ricochet. Ricochet appeared from the crowd with scissors in hand. Golden scissors. And he mutilated Swerve Strickland with those scissors. Got blood all over his suit. Laughing. Cackling. That was so good. And the way he carried himself, too, with the blood on him. Looked menacing. Looked so badass. And scary. Straight serial killer. And the crowd loved it. This crowd was not the best crowd. They were alive for this, though. And Swerve sold it like death. So Swerve is very good at getting over these segments where he has to pretend like he's dying or basically got massacred. But I loved it. It was a great way to get him over and really take this feud to the next level, showing how personal it is. So Ricochet and Swerve have my full attention. Cannot wait to see what they do with it. Get us all the way to Revolution with it. And give them a death match or something. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be fun. See, sometimes you don't need a world title or a championship to make a feud matter. You just need good storytelling. Great storytelling between these two. I love it. And I'm scared that as good as this is and how great it will be, the following it is just not going to work because look at what they're doing with Hangman Page. But that's neither here or there. Neither here or there. Jay White wins the triple threat match. He will go on to have the number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. Wait, did I say Casino Battle Royale or Gauntlet? I don't give a damn. I'm tired. Casino Gauntlet. Who cares? The thing that mattered was the Ricochet Swerve thing. That was great. So we go from that to Jeff Jarrett, who came out, and honestly, as soon as he showed up with the boots, I'm saying, you're not retiring. I know this is a swerve. But he came out talking about his career and his family's legacy and how long he's been doing this, his friends, the relationships he's made, his wife. And then he turns around and goes, I am not retiring. I just signed my last contract with AEW. Don't ask for how many years. I don't know. And he said, during this run, I would like to be a world champion. And I howled. I said to myself, ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell AEW is giving you a world title run. You better not do it, Tony. Look, Sting, I would have understood. Bryan Danielson, 100%. And I'm glad you did that. You better not give Jeff Jarrett that world title. That would be... Okay, I gotta be careful with my words. That wouldn't be as bad as them airing that CM Punk footage, but that would be bad. But I have a feeling that Tony wants to do it anyways because he loves Jeff Jarrett. He loves him some Jeff Jarrett, and I'm at that point now where I don't think Tony Khan gives a damn anymore. Tony is going to book what he wants to book, and the sickos will love it anyways. He is going to drive away the world and cut this show down to the niches of niches when it comes to wrestling fans. I mean, it's his show. Whatever. But Jeff Jarrett. Really, y'all? As world champion? Who's calling for that? Who wants to see that? Powerhouse Hobbs destroys 2 jobbers because, I don't know, it's just there. Where's that going? I don't know. He lost to Konosuke Takeshita and then just beat 2 jobbers. It's like Hangman Page and Orange Cassidy. What are we doing? The main event was a 6-man tag. Death Riders, Claudio, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta taking on FTR and Cope. The rated R superstar, Cope Harder. So they're clearly setting up Cope to fight Jon Moxley for that world title. Great. You know he's not going to beat him. Either Darby Allin or Darby Allin is going to beat Jon Moxley. Cope is just there to hold the interim. Although, I wouldn't mind if he beat Jon Moxley and then Christian Cage cashed in on him and then we moved the world title to that feud instead. The Death Riders suck. This takeover storyline has died 1,000 deaths. I said before, if Shane McMahon wasn't involved, then this was going to die. And it did, because Shane is not here. We got people still waiting. When is Shane going to show up? I don't think he's showing up. This whole storyline is dead in the water. It sucks. It's dog shit. And even if he does show up, he could still show up. But now it's way too late. Now I don't care. I don't care. You would think there's a reason they're doing this, and there's an ultimate plan for it, but there better be some kind of a blow-off to it, because what they're doing right now absolutely sucks. No interest, no heat, no one cares. So if it was up to me, I'm throwing that belt on Cope as soon as possible with his terrible ass name. From Edge to Adam Copeland to Cope. And they said that name so much. Cope harder. Cope. That was the show. That was one of the hardest 2 hours I've had to sit through. And I don't recommend anybody sit through it. Just go watch the Ricochet segment. Watch the Ricochet segment and call it a day. That's it. Watch Ricochet, which is like 5 minutes. And then go about your merry way. Skip this show. This is the new era that you want to start things off with. You're in trouble. You're in trouble if this is a sign of things to come. This show was awful. Awful. Are we absolutely sure Vince McMahon didn't take over? Because that's what I'm thinking about right now. Did Shane McMahon secretly buy Dynamite AEW from Tony Khan and now Vince is writing the show? Because that's what this feels like. I'm going to get out of here. Happy New Year. Hopefully things get better, but I'm not holding my breath when it comes to AEW Dynamite. Because this was trash. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time right here in Alyx's world. The place it is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Peace.